Yesterday was JANAN LUWUM Day, an archbishop that was murdered during Idi Amin's regime. We all know that Idi Amin was a dictator and an authoritarian who descended on those who were seeking democracy, on those who talked about his bad leadership. And Honorable Ssemujuu explained it, linking him to what is happening in Uganda, where Janani Museveni is doing the same. In fact, Ssemujuu said these statements.
Celebrating the life of Luwum, you need to understand Mr. Museveni's hatred of Idi Amin, because the circumstances under which Luwum died are not different from the circumstances of many other people. I've lost relatives, I think during Obote 2. I lost an uncle and a brother together with the vehicle they were driving. We've never seen them again. So these excesses have dotted the history of this country. Luwum should have been used just as an illustration to go into history and to commit ourselves never to repeat these things. They happened under Obote 1, they happened under Idi Amin, they happened under Obote 2, they are happening under Museveni. I don't know whether I should call it Museveni 3 because it's the 4th decade. And the motivation remains the same: power and staying in power. You have just explained how the Archbishop got killed, presented a note to President Idi Amin complaining against disappearances and killing of people. And what Idi Amin did was to arrest late, of course he paraded them at Harare, and then together with Ofumbi, who was a minister, and Oriema, and said they had committed treason. What followed are the same explanations that you have today. And governments tend to behave the same way.
That is Honorable Ssemujuu. First of all, I keep on telling people, for those who have been following me, there is nothing, or there is no atrocity that has ever committed by the previous regime, all the regimes that Janani Museveni calls dictators, that he has not committed right now. And Ssemujuu coming out to point out that it is the same thing that Idi Amin used to say. In fact, when Idi Amin was invited in, I think it was Britain, they talked about it, because apparently the state by that time came out to say that Janani Luwum died in an accident. Yet the post-mortem and the investigation by other foreign bodies said that he was shot at. Because you cannot hide atrocities. Even those who commit the atrocities, when government changes, they can tell their friends or others. So you cannot hide away a person who was just murdered. In fact, here is when Idi Amin was denying.
I heard from BBC that I am the one who was shooting the bishop and the minister. It is completely nonsense. I was here in the Nile mansion. I never go outside.
Whatever happened in Uganda, it is the car accident, like thousands of people dying in New York, Washington, and all part of United States of America every day. And even criminal highway robbery happening in the United States every day. Do you think that it is necessary to send a independent commission of inquiry to America to investigate your murder of your head of state, including President Kennedy?
That is Idi Amin. So the purpose of this video, I've come to talk about the matter Janani Luwum, who stood firm to fight for democracy, not like some of these religious leaders who are in cahoots with the authoritarian. Okay? And how Janani Museveni is doing exactly the same things dictator Idi Amin and other bad leaders did. What means for our politics, and most importantly, the study materials you can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube. Type in Sula Mawagri. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. First of all, there is no sane Ugandan who can come out to say that we are under democracy. Museveni has done each and everything, even the things you used to go against in the 80s, he has done. Right now, we have drones that abduct people. Long ago, we used to have Panda Gali. There are forceful disappearances. There are abductions. There are criminal justice system. Okay, people like Chibalama, they were taken. Even their grave, it's not clear where he is right now. Okay, so when such things happen, and yet Museveni is a crusade of saying how Idi Amin was bad, because whenever Museveni comes out to speak, he portrays Idi Amin as the worst leader, to an extent that even when Idi Amin died, he refused his body to be brought back in Uganda.
So we are here to ashame the devil. The devil who was operating in people like Idi Amin. Amin made many mistakes. First of all, he imposed himself on us as a leader. I was in the president's office that time as a research assistant, and Amin used to come and we would talk there outside the office when he would be coming from meeting Yobote. And we were busy with serious programs. We had, of course, had differences with Yobote, but this was now, we were trying to manage those differences. Then, on a Monday, 25th, when we were going to work, oh, not to go to work, there is some problem. I was staying in Chireka, the housing justice there. So we sat in the houses, and then at around 3, they announced that Amin had become president of Uganda. So I got in a car and went, we called our group of student leaders in the house of Yona Kanyomozi. And we said we are not going to accept Amin. You, Museveni, you go, and we start the resistance against Amin.
Museveni hates Idi Amin so much, yet his government is doing exactly the same thing. In fact, the person who explained this very well made me known to put my explanation that's in this video. Let me first give you the clip of when Honorable Ssemujuu was explaining Idi Amin's and JANAN LUWUM's day, linking it to what Museveni is doing. In fact, here's a tape.
When an Naitwe police officer nearly killed Dr. Kizza Besigye around Murago roundabout, we all and the cameras of various media showed us a policeman using a hammer to smash Dr. Kizza Besigye's windscreen. But the following day, the minister said it is Besigye who came with a hammer. They shot at Besigye, that day I was with him, we were walking from Kasangati, and they said Besigye had injured his finger. When Manenero died, that time Nobo Mayombo, the late, was the chief of military intelligence. He said, I was the one helping him to take him to Murago. Recently, we have had Mzee kidnapped from Kasese, and he has died. So the explanation, the pattern remains the same. The motivation remains the same. Idi Amin, when he captured power, people celebrated because they were tired of Obote. And there were gestures of goodwill, the return of Said Mutesa's body, the freeing of, even Idi Amin freed prisoners. Something that Okello did. I was helping Eliya Sebaga write his book. Said as soon as Okello overthrew about in 1985, the first thing he did was to free everybody in Lira. So governments come the same way in Uganda. Unfortunately, this one hasn't gone. They behave the same way, and all the past governments have gone the same way. We had an opportunity under Mr. Museveni for all this to change. I remember the late Eliya I had conversation with him a number of times, and his wish, and he kept saying so, was that things must be done differently. So this day, celebrating the life of Luwum, should have been a day of human rights stock taking, the things that have happened in the past, and the commitment never to repeat them, because it is still possible to live the same life without having to injure other people. President Museveni, I used to work at Monitor when I left university. And he faced the question of his legacy all the time. And he kept saying him is a revolutionary, he doesn't care about the legacy. And I think this day, February 16th of 2023 has come at the worst time, when Mr. Museveni is accused of committing human rights violations that Idi Amin committed. And I've told people, for me it hurts. Some of the soldiers who served under Idi Amin are forgivable. People who never went to school, no experience, no training, and they ended up with a lot of power. But majority of commanders today are people who, some of them have even master's degree in law. General Mohoz, who was commanding the army, who was CDF until recently, I am told he has a master's degree in law. Kaihura, who commanded the police, and all these things happened under his watch, is a lawyer. You hear people with first degrees like Muzei Sabit, who was in the police, first class degree in mathematics. These are the people we are talking about. So they cannot be forgiven because they understand, they have gone to school, they understand the value, they have visited countries, they know the repercussions of their own action, but they continue behaving. Because the difference between Luwum and Manenero and the Muzei kidnapped from Kasese, the difference is just the profile. That this guy had the courage even to kill the Archbishop. But lives remain the same. If you shoot people, I remember when Sheikh Chirevu was killed, the justification was that he was running away. Can you run away from counter-terrorism who have attacked your house at night, and UPDF, and one single soul is running away from them? They correct people from all over Kampala, then go and kill them in Namuongo. People who are in handcuffs, and they say they are running away. So the explanation of the Amin regime was that the Archbishop, together with the Ofumbi and Oriema, the ministers, that they are trying to overpower a driver who was driving them to an interrogation center. Okay. So the explanation remains the same.
That is Honorable Ssemujuu Nganda. So you clearly see that each leader that has come in power has done atrocities. It is the truth. Okay? In fact, for me, I feel bad that the regime that is now 40 years into power, that went to the bush on the account of rule of law, okay, democracy, vote thieving. It is doing the exact things. Don't say that the CDF can come out to say that he has somebody in the basement and that person comes out tortured. Don't extend that by a snap or by a command, those in power can take away your life. Like General Kare Kaihura. And Ssemujuu Nganda depicted it very well. These people are learned. Kaihura has degrees in law, but will go down in the history as the worst Inspector General of Police. Okay? So, as a country, what we learn is, first of all, we must continue agitating for equity and constitutionalism. Second of all, General Museveni knows the problem of our country. He has ever said that leaders overstay in power, and the longer he has stayed, the more he has undone even the little achievements he's doing. By the time General Museveni will be leaving power, there will be nothing left for him to show as achievements. Of course, it's my opinion. My name is truly Mr. Makindi. If you're into this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I will see you on another one. Peace.